If you're a fan of a variety of succulents, or you like name-dropping, deep-cut Radiohead tracks, or maybe you just don't like DAW setups for workstations, then stick around because I think we have two products you might love. Hi, this is Patrick Marr with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels. We have a couple different ones. Sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We really appreciate the support, and we love to interact with you guys. Well, first, I want to disclose I'm not the normal host of this channel. I am the brother of Zach, who does this channel, loves synthesizers way more than I do. I would be lying if I said I was into it as much as him, but I do love them in my own way, and hopefully in this video you can tell that I really do appreciate the nerdness of synthesizers, and also just how incredibly creative you can be on them. I do normally host our piano channel, so if you enjoy the playing later or anything like that, we do highlight some really cool pianos on our other channel. It's the Alamo Music Piano channel, and we'll review old Steinways, Baldwins, new digital pianos, and kind of compare new stuff to old stuff. So we have a lot of fun there. Today, I have two of, I think, the most iconic creative machines I can think of. And so I was thinking, when I was told, oh, you should go do one of these synthesizer videos, I was like, well, what topic would I want to cover? And I really was thinking, because of my brother's love for the Juno series from Roland, because of the world's love for the Juno series from Roland, I was trying to in my mind, think of what is that equivalent today, and hopefully in 30 years we look back and we look at the era of, the 2020s and the 20 teens, and we look at the Logue series from Korg, and there's the Minilogues that are coming out. The Minilogue XD is what we have here behind me, and I was just thinking about, this is a really cool product line. I personally own a Minilogue XD. I enjoy it tremendously. I think it's an all-inclusive kind of, like I've said before, creation machine, and it really kind of grabs your attention and kind of holds it. I spaced out. I'm like, okay, 30 minutes just passed, and I was just messing around with one or two things. And what it has to offer, I believe, is very similar to what the Juno series had to offer in the 80s. And so we're going to listen to them here in a little bit and kind of just play around. But kind of what shines between both of these things and what makes them really special in their own right is the Juno series was, I want to say, affordable for the times. And this was a combination of things. There was some changing in technology, and Roland adapted. The Juno series was the first time that the DCO came out, and so the digitally controlled oscillator instead of a voltage controlled oscillator. And so what did this do? It allowed tuning stability to really, instead of the Juno going way out of tune when you're playing with other people, or when when the old analog synthesizers just go off the rails and you're like, oh, it's way out of tune. What do I do? Do I turn it off? Do I let it cool down? What do I do to get it back on track? The digital control really strengthened the overall control and sound of the unit, and so really a cool feature that made it, I think, more affordable. So they were able to come out with the Juno series. The first one was the Juno-60. Immediately released afterwards is the Juno-60, which had the memory patches in there, and so that you were able to save what you were working on, and also recall all the way up to 56 different presets basically in there. And then also just the layout is very familiar to kind of the Jupiter line that came before it. And it's kind of, I don't want to say dumbed down, but it's a much more simple process of getting through and controlling and finding a sound that you love. The things that people really love about the Juno is the hold and arpeggiator and the different kind of effects that the arpeggiator has, the range and the mode. So we'll go through some of those, but really being able to just dial in. It's almost that Stranger Things sound that is very popular in all sci-fi movies and sci-fi television, that arpeggiator that's going and dialing in on different sounds, different frequencies. Just a great sounding, I would say a little bit warmer sounding synth than what I'm used to playing. And just it's incredibly incredibly simple to understand while you're going through you're clicking on different different effects, things like that. What's really popular and what was really popular is the chorus effects, the both 1 and 2, and being able to run them at the same time. You kind of create this very familiar sound that we've heard so many times in different films and different albums. Just a great, amazing sounding synthesizer. So we'll listen to the Juno-60 and play around with it. It also has a really cool, the LFO trigger is one of my favorite things, being able to punch that in and having it on manual so that you can punch it in when you want and kind of take it for a right turn. And so we'll take a listen to that. Really a neat sounding instrument. Really enjoyed playing on the Juno-60. Today we have the Minilogue XD. Also, I think its strengths are in the simplicity of the layout and some of the different features that allow you to just kind of create while something's going off. So the sequencer on the Minilogue XD, I think, is one of my favorite parts. Being able to put it in motion mode and kind of change individual, I think it's up to 4 knobs or four controls is what you can change while it's in motion mode. So if you want to mess with the cutoff or the resonance on any of the individual 16 sequences, you can do that, and you can do it throughout the entire 16 sequence. So we'll mess around with that a little bit. It's kind of how you can control this and make almost a drum beat or make a very kind of detailed sequence that's not just a standard 16 notes. It also has really cool digital effects that can be layered on top. So it is a polyphonic synthesizer, but you are able to dial in delays, reverbs, some modulation like chorus and flanger, and that is going to be stereo. So you kind of can take these stereo effects and put it on basically on a mono output. So it sounds very cool. It also has the multi-engine, which is what people love about the Minilogue XD. I think this is what's going to keep it as a relevant product for a very, very long time. With right there as controls, you have user loaded. You can basically go to a library and pull whatever oscillators you want from there, put it directly into your Minilogue XD, and you're able to load those in very quickly. I believe it has 15 slots for user oscillators, so really kind of open source. You can take the Minilogue and it's basically an open source synthesizer on top of its analog synthesis that does, with your VCO 1 and 2, your VCO 3 is that multi-engine, so you can kind of go in and change it, and really, it's one of the coolest sounding instruments I've had the privilege of playing with different, the arpeggiator on it's also very cool, and being able to change that with the voice mode. But you can change from a four voice polyphonic synthesizer to a unison to a chord, and all those. If you go through the voice mode depth, it kind of changes what it does. So on chord, I think there's up to 12 different chords that you can go through and make a minor 7th chord just by holding one note. So it makes the synthesizer a little bit more diverse. Same with the arpeggiator. You can actually change the arpeggiator on an individual sequence, and will change from going up to going down, just depending on if you've used that motion. The motion mode when you're in the sequencer. So really just a lot of flexibility with it, and really kind of self-contained. There's 500 different 500 different slots that you can load in, and really kind of just start creating and save your masterpieces as you're recording. So yeah, I just really believe that the Log series and specifically the Minilogue XD, I believe it's going to be seen in years to come as influential to a lot of beginning musicians, to a lot of people who are really picking up analog synthesis, picking up creating with what's available on the market, it's going to be as influential, I believe, and this is my hot take, as the Juno series was in the 80s. So let's listen to both of them, kind of play around with them. I really just believe that if you are someone who is possibly interested in buying an old analog synthesizer, the Juno series is one of the more expensive. Of course, it's carried a lot of history. It sounds amazing. All the Juno series, the Juno-6, the Juno-60, and the 106 was the run there in the 80s of the Juno products that we've reviewed on this channel. But really kind of just lives on, highly sought after, very collectible. I believe the Minilogue has a lot to offer at an affordable price point like the Juno did back in the 80s. So let's take a listen to them and just play around and see what we can hear. So much fun to play both of these instruments. Huge fan of the Juno series. The Juno-60 is, the holy grail for many people. And spending a little bit more time with it, I'm even more, amused by how much it has to offer. At first, I always give my brother a hard time because he's like the Juno series. You just have to spend a little bit of time with it. It really starts to become one of your favorite things, and I definitely feel that now. I feel like there's so much to explore just by having the arpeggiator and the choruses. I think are two of the shining bright spots of it. But really just dialing in different sounds and kind of trying to balance the LFO going off, and it's a lot of fun. So if you've never had the chance to play one, highly recommend going out and finding someone who has one and just borrowing it for a little bit. I know they're very pricey. But on the flip side, the Minilogue, I get drawn into it. It's one of those things where there's so much potential with it and so many, it's limitless really is what it feels like. It feels like you're able to kind of dive into what it has on board, but you're also able, there's the carrot of, hey, this has a multi-engine that you can go find. You can go out and find different oscillators that you want to try out that people have programmed, and you can plug it basically directly in and just start messing around with limitless functionality. So just a really cool product from Korg. Also, I believe both of these were created with the mindset of access and the mindset of affordability, and really the Minilogue has that spirit of what the Juno was back in the 80s. And let me know if you agree or disagree, because that might be my hot take, but I really just believe that a lot more people are having access to what an analog polyphonic synthesizer can be with the Minilogue XD, with the product line. Same with the Juno, I believe, when they were introducing that digitally controlled oscillator, it really brought the affordability price point down, a little bit more of a simplicity of layout, but really kind of just brought people a product that we fell in love with in the Juno series, the Juno-6, the Juno-60, the 106. They're in countless movies, countless albums, and just such a familiar sound that we're so used to, that people strive for, that people try to make on the Minilogue XD. And so just lots of fun to play both these today. Let me know if you guys have played either the Minilogue XD or any original Junos. Just incredible instruments, and let people know what's the best modern equivalent of the Juno series. If you have a different take, let us know. We'd love to do a product review with them. But really highly recommend the Minilogue XD. Highly recommend the Juno-60 if you have access to it. I'm Patrick Marr, again with the Alamo Music Center. Thank you guys for watching.